Hello, everyone, and welcome to the conclusion of the final round coverage of the 2019 Texas State Disc Golf Championships presented by Discraft. I'm Paul Ulibarri. I'm joined by Brian Earhart. What we got, man?
Well, we had a kind of a slow front nine, it looked like, for our card. Brad Williams took a couple big numbers, and the rest of the players really just kind of playing steady here. We're moving out to hole 10, which I think is that a par 4, 600 feet, correct?
Yes, sir. As we look at some positions on the right there for the top 10 list, a lot of good players in the mix. Hole 10, par 4, like you said, 600 feet. And you're going to see, I'm guessing, everybody but AJ go sidearm off the tee here.
You really don't need to bite too much off, and really you just want to set yourself up in that opening that the drone flew through. Maybe pop off a 350 to 400 foot drive, put it in bounds. A lot of them will challenge the tree line on the right too, just to kind of get on the other side. Bradley looks like he is opting for a backhand though.
Big roller. And this can be dangerous because there is out of bounds deep, so if it doesn't flip, which it looks like it is, you can challenge that out of bounds deep. But
that's a really nice shot.
Yeah, and the thing about this hole is you can actually throw any tee shot in bounds, and then you can see all of these gaps are pretty wide. You'll be able to go to the green. It's really about putting it into play and then having some sort of manufactured shot into the green. Like, even though Ricky right there, he's, hit the first tree, he's still going to have a shot into the green.
Alex just ropes this boss forehand. Should get a nice little flare into a good spot.
We've actually seen Ricky drop that elbow a bit and do a little bit of nose up there a few times this round.
Yeah, not sure if that's a new disc he's getting used to the flight of or what, but AJ going roller, same with Bradley. Looks like the wind kind of shoves it down a little bit, but again, he puts it in play, and now he has an opportunity to play for the basket. Only real worry is that OB green in front of it, and then there's OB path long. That needs the flare.
And that's actually on the green. So he had the gap, he just missed the height. And then that's the problem. If you hit the front of that green, you can kind of filter right on and it sticks. So he's
AJ going
taking
slammer.
He's going to be taking first bogey of the round unless he can make something happen from deep. And AJ's at a spot where he's kind of struggled this round. We'll see if he can capitalize and knock that one down. This is some good touch, but it's also leaking to the left side of the green. He's going to be that's pretty good.
29 feet. And then Brad kind of pinned up against the tree, throwing an overstable approach disc.
This is nose up. This has got to go. Oh, that's money.
It went. About 15, 20 from the basket. AJ circles edge. Like you said, he's been kind of struggling with these this round. And he capitalizes, which is nice. Ooh.
I don't know what that was, but I kind of like it.
I kind of like it as well. I kind of...
Oh.
Never mind. I don't like that.
Oh, fumble.
He blew it. Nice putt from Alex. Seems pretty routine for him this round. He seems pretty dialed.
That's the way he always seems. He seems like he's always dialed with that putt, man.
He never, even if he's not playing well, he never ever shows any sort of signs of burnout or frustration. After Brad taps in his birdie as well, Ricky will tap in for I believe that's going to be a bogey.
Yeah.
So,
pardon me. Alex Russell reminds me a lot of Nate Sexton as far as his how consistent he is with the sidearm. He makes all of his in the circle putts, a few outside here and there, and just never really gets too frustrated. Has a solid backhand, really has all the tools, and it just kind of pieces together a good round. He's not going out there birdieing every single hole, but he's getting 2-3 in a row. Making sure he's not bogeying, and then all of a sudden at the end of the tournament, you're like, wow, great tournament.
Yeah. Brad going, it looked like a T-bird coming out of his hand. It's fading like one at least. That needs to get over a little bit. And he'll have a 35-foot death putt with kind of some weird wind that we're seeing.
Yeah, and that was surprising to me that he didn't go with a faster disc there. And
Alex with another gorgeous sidearm with that boss. He's going to fight the hill. He'll be a little short, but he won't be in death putt range. He'll be kind of playing on the side of the hill. AJ going with an enforcer here. And I think for Brad, when Brad threw that T-bird, I think he's so obsessed with landing his disc soft that I think he thought he could land it right next to the basket. Just like Mr. Risley did with that enforcer.
Oh, nice FollowFlight. Yeah, he hit this one kind of on a perfect angle and just...
Flat, nose up, landed softly, didn't flare too far. And a nice little roll to the basket.
So we found out that this disc is actually a monster.
Max.
Max.
Champion
Sorry.
Max that he's been throwing. And a lot of people thought it was a destroyer originally. Apparently, he's been really enjoying these overstable, slower distance drivers.
I can't even believe I remember what a monster was. Why did I say monster?
Yeah, nobody really throws that anymore.
I don't know why. Oh, and there's Ricky with the monster. And Brad gets a bad roll after that little miss that he has there. And you can see that swirl that you were talking about. It really didn't give him a big option to run that really hard, especially after seeing Brad kind of roll away.
Great putt by Ricky. And there's a confident release.
Holds his pose.
Perfect.
Man, that's good.
And yeah, this is wind, especially on a longer putt. You could feel a tailwind, and then right when you release, it could switch to head. So it's one of those tough putts. Brad coming uphill. Makes the comebacker for a bogey. And AJ with just a gorgeous drive, about as picture perfect as you could make it. Snags himself a birdie, makes another good putt, and AJ's back nine's starting to look a little bit better than the front.
Yeah, back-to-back birdies, great way to start this back nine, especially on some nice coverage.
On some nice Jomez coverage. And the thing is, he's been throwing well all around. And the moment his putt comes together, he's going to be doing just fine, and it looks like it's starting to. And moving into this hole 12, 425 feet uphill, OB directly to the right of the basket. And this is one, and I've said it all 3 rounds, this is one where the wind tunnel effect has had the most, given players the most issues. Looks like it's going to be a right to left crosswind, and anything that people try flexing up there gets absolutely smashed. So you kind of have to throw flat and kind of fade it up the hill, or if you want to go around that tree right next to the basket as well.
Yeah, and I think we're going to actually see Ricky. So let's hope this doesn't get smashed. Looks like it's coming out nice. Very nice. Oh, money. Deep, in fact. That's the first one I've seen go deep, but I think Ricky and Alex might go opt for the sidearm.
Especially if you do have this type of power sidearm, it helps to, well, maybe spoke too soon.
So we saw him on the previous sidearm that he threw kind of drop that elbow and it hooked right. I think he kind of overcorrected there and wanted to make sure he got it flat, which he did. And then A-Russ is like, it's kind of simple, Rick. Just kind of...
Just take your boss out and just chuck it and throw it to about 28 feet. And that's a nice position since he's not putting towards the OB either. He has a nice, confident uphill putt. Bradley going with a smooth hyzer flip. And I think this is the perfect play. He kind of had that tiny lift from the crosswind coming up.
Yeah, plays it to the left side of the green, and now he has, 25 feet straight for birdie. And this is one of the harder gets on the course for sure.
Ricky flicking, I think that's a pig that he flicks. That white one.
Yeah.
Right into the basket. Alex, beautiful putt.
He actually had an aggressive mini pickup right there. If you guys didn't pick up on that, I think he really wanted that.
I think Alex's blood pressure has gone up from, or heart rate has gone up from 80 to 85.
Whoa.
He's feeling edgy. Bradley with another
and
nice birdie.
Brad's remains at 100.
Brad's heart rate at 100 even. Great putt by AJ. And there's the good putting again. You can see his posture, the way he's walking. He's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable out there.
Yeah, getting 3 in a row on this course is very rare.
Especially on these tough par 3s that they're playing.
But if there's an area to do it, it is kind of right there. Those ones are very gettable.
Because now we're moving back into the woods, hole 13, and we continue the theme of the long pushing hyzer shot that requires a lot of spin control, a lot of tempo control, and you can't rely on an overstable disc. As we approach the basket, we kind of have a beautiful beautiful scene being acted out by James Conrad. I'm not sure if that's Shakespeare or some sort of biblical scene. It's beautiful nonetheless.
Well, let's hope that AJ pops a beautiful... Oh, boy.
It's getting a lot of fade out, though.
I mean, there is an out of bounds straight to the right there, a little tiny pond, but he clearly pushes all the way past that, and he might. It's actually going to be a technical upshot because there are little teeny tiny trees in the way, but he should be able to make something happen. This is money.
Alex going with calling an audible and throwing a rock, but
get worked.
Yeah. The only really soldier trees in the fairway, I thought he was close, but you do have to kind of push that inside hyzer flip for sure. Bradley trying to do it. Maybe he might go around the outside of those trees.
Circle's edge. He'll have that death putt that he's been kind of putting all day.
But yeah, I mean, all these hyzers going through the gap are not, fading hyzers. They kind of have to match the angle of the fairway. This is perfect.
Money. He threw that great all weekend.
Yeah, he seems to really love that type of shot. It kind of matches his backhand really well.
Yeah, it wasn't as tough as I thought it was going to be. But there is out of bounds straight behind the basket, both where he was aiming and where Alex is aiming right here, just past 4 or 5 feet. There's out of bounds. Shouldn't be a problem for any of these guys. Like, that could be OB. It might have hit the trunk of that tree to kind of save him. It did. Yeah, he was out of bounds.
And that's the tough thing about this hole. I mean, you have to first throw this, very technical, spinny shot, but then you also have to control the tempo, and if you're flaring it, you have to control the flare as well. And move it into another one of those wooded holes that makes you throw a couple different types of technical shots. What do we have here, Paul?
Yeah, hole 14, 363 feet. You're going to see a lot of people go from left to right here, try to throw this flex shot, which really opens this gap up because once your disc gets out of the flex, it's going to open up and have like an easier access to the green. There's also a subtle hyzer to the right to where you can kind of fit one through there. But as we see Ricky, he did this every round. He turned it over a little bit too much, but that's a good skip. He's going to be just outside the circle. He was almost in the same spot every time.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's one of those things where you have to hit the initial flex line, but then also control the point at which the disc comes out of it. And AJ just looks like he yanked it a little bit and unfortunately hit that first tree and roll bounced off of it. Alex playing a lot safer of a route, it looks like.
Yeah, he was going sidearm. It looks like he's just trying to throw it and play for 35, 40-footer.
And I really love that, especially if you walk up to a hole and you're not confident throwing a specific line that the fairway calls for. Just put it in play and give yourself some sort of opportunity.
Especially because what happened to AJ can happen very easily to anybody. You can kick left, and then you're pretty much done over there. I mean, you can pitch out, and he might have some sort of look into getting, like, miracle par, but it's going to be really tough.
And Bradley throwing the subtle hyzer and pushes out there a little bit and gives himself some sort of circle 2 look. AJ going forehand roller lefty. And you could hear a little bit of frustration coming from him.
That hole had him so confused he was throwing it with his other hand.
Yeah, it's a shot that not a lot of players have, the righty backhand, lefty forehand combo. Unfortunate miss from Brad. Alex has been pretty money from this range. Just comes up a little bit short.
One thing to point out is even though, the players were kind of not playing the best golf that they've played, the gallery was very supportive, and it was actually a very loud gallery.
Texas definitely came out in full force, and
nice,
it was
so we appreciate that.
Oh yeah, it created a really, really awesome atmosphere, especially for just an A tier, not part of any tours. But having all the best players come out and having all the locals come out and support and give a lot of support to their local players as well, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, and it was a cold day. I mean, they didn't have to come out and watch, and they did.
There were people coming out in the drizzle on day 2, and definitely we'll be making Texas another stop on tour next year. Ooh.
Oh.
Can we get a SloMez of that? That was kind of sick. Darn. Moving on to the next hole. Hole 15, 371 feet. They call it a par 3, but it really scored as a par 4. I think the average score in this was a 3.79, I believe. And players are really not playing to this. Even if you try throwing that long flex forehand to go for the eagle, if it was a par 4, there's OB all along the right side. So you're going to see players like Ricky just dumping a hyzer in bounds, maybe 250 feet, and then give themselves some sort of look down the gut for a par or what they would call a birdie. Alex going with that flippy yellow disc again. I'm not sure what that is, but he caught a horrible roll bounce off the tree.
Not a good angle, though, out of his hand.
It definitely, I think he was trying to play a little higher and crash it into the hillside on the left. And Brad kind of sawing it off, but still making it work.
I think that was money.
You think he was trying to play it inside?
I think so.
Super safe.
I also know that this is coming as the most difficult hole on the course. And this is pushing that right side, but that's going to be great.
Yeah, it's AJ's slammer. He's been throwing that thing really well. And that's kind of the picture-perfect way of playing this hole. Ricky's got to pull out some magic here. Splits the gap.
Pretty routine for him from there.
Oh, yeah.
Brad going Nova. You know, that's a smart play. Taking it to the left side, not bringing any of the OB into play at all, and then he'll have 25 home for par.
And AJ going with his beautiful shot.
Very nicely done.
He's had that deputy in his bag for a long time. He can land that thing very softly. And then Alex with the Alex shot.
Yeah, but he's going to be tapping that in for bogey. And now all of a sudden we're going to have, you know, a tighter race between him and Brad. Brad's going to remain at 15. Alex is going to move to
16 under par.
Yeah. AJ kind of close there. Ricky's kind of pulled away at this point, especially with only a few holes left. But they had their chances. They had their chances to catch Rick. It wasn't his best round. And, you know, at that point with a lead like that, he's just trying to run out of holes. Oh, I didn't know he had this left. This isn't a gimme. Yeah, still good.
Maybe for Alex today it's a gimme, and he'll tap in for a bogey. But again, with the hole playing, you know, so much higher over par than it did, really isn't that detrimental to the game.
There wasn't one birdie on it the whole week.
So in my mind, that's an eagle. I mean, if you're going to get all the way down there with some... Oh, my goodness. Whoa. Ah.
Oh, we got that on camera, AJ. Sorry, buddy.
After that circus act, that was AJ's disc retrieval. We'll move on to hole 16. Par 4, 678 feet. Basket's going to be tucked behind these big mature trees, OB on the right side. Players actually are going to try to throw just a long, flat to fade shot off to the left side, and that gives them a really easy upshot to the basket. Not necessarily easy, but much easier than playing underneath those branches.
One thing to note about this round as well is the wind was kind of crazy on this hole.
It was.
You can see those bushes behind the disc right there kind of going like there's a dinosaur in them. That's what's happening. It's crazy out here. Lots of wind and making this hole play a lot harder than it did in the previous rounds.
And it seems to be just stopping and going at all times. Stopping, going, and changing directions. Brad
doesn't care.
Does not care at all and absolutely smashes this drive. And I think that's pretty much the optimal shot on the hole. Him and Ricky both put it in the perfect spot. Raider roller from AJ. He must have seen something in the wind, and he has crushed this. That's got to get over. That was pretty nice.
That was nice, but Ricky still outdrove him. So.
It looked a lot cooler.
Yeah, definitely. it's nice to see a nice variety, especially for the gallery.
Oh, yeah. And here's A. Russ with a beautiful flex shot. I'm not sure what that blue one is. I'm assuming it's a boss. That's his favorite distance driver. And all 4 of them are going to be sitting there if, you know.
Same position, yeah.
Same position, 250 feet from the basket. And Alex, I think, has a Firebird in his hands.
Skip in.
Skip.
Very nice. Someone's excited.
Nice 15, 20-footer for Alex. Bradley.
Going with the standstill.
And I like this play. You don't put a lot of tempo into the disc. You can get it to land soft. He opted to play a flare, and that should be right there. Saws it off a little bit early, but still about 27 feet from the basket. It's funny how you see the trees blowing so much, but then you look at the flag on the basket and it's not moving.
Right. And then you look at the flag on the ground and it's ripping.
It's one of those weird things about this course that's been throwing a lot of players off, actually, this round. And the good putting keeps coming from AJ. He birdies again and puts himself at 15 under par. Tying it up with Bradley, too, so he's got to make this putt.
And Ricky's still a little bit off with the putt. Definitely not typical of him missing so many, but then again, he's so far ahead of the field. I mean, it's as a player, I've been in that position. It's not often that I pull away from a field, but when it happens, it's tough to motivate yourself to just like keep pushing and have that great round. And it's something that I've really admired about, you know, a Macbeth or a Ken Climber or somebody like that who just has the mindset of go and they can win by 10, 15, 20, you know, in times.
And at that point, it's more of a pride thing than anything.
Right, and that's really tough to do. And I see Ricky kind of get a little lax here.
But with 2 holes left, he has, I think, a firm 6 or 7 stroke lead here.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone, for sure. He's won the tournament at this point already.
So the race is now for second place, and hole 17 is definitely one of those holes where some scoring changes can happen. You got OB Pond in front of the basket. You have some wind ripping on this hole. And the players are just trying to put one out in the fairway. Brad's going to throw a roller, actually, which will shape this fairway really well.
Very good.
And anything to give you, you know, some sort of open look to the basket. Almost a similar idea to the last hole that they just played, with a little bit more OB, a little bit more elevation. AJ's going to go with that enforcer. And this is his stable enforcer. So he's just throwing a clean flex shot. And even though it's fading out to the left, it's actually a good position to be in if he stays in bounds.
Yeah, and he's kind of found his groove on this back nine. He's throwing a little bit more confident. He's putting a lot better. He's putting it into play, putting it where he wants, getting those nice fist pumps that we're so used to him to seeing with him in these positions on these featured cards. So it's good to see him kind of find his groove on the back.
It is nice. Ricky crunching one out there, kind of yanking it over to the right. But at this point, he can lay up for par the next 2 holes and be totally fine.
He could dang near kick it all the way to the pin for the win.
Alex with a beautiful sidearm coming in and a nice skip and roll to the basket. And that's definitely within range for him.
Ricky has to get up and down.
To maintain his 7-stroke lead, 6-stroke lead.
Very good shot.
And same result.
Oh. Who was closer?
Brad going standstill Nova turnover. That's a beautiful shot. I mean, even though it didn't get right to the basket, the fact that he got it to pan and flatten out like that is so nice.
And this needs to fade a bit. Circle's edge.
AJ's favorite position to be in. Nice circle 2-putt that he can run down.
Beanie off.
Beanie off.
Focused.
There's a little grizzly bear growl.
Oh, he wanted it. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, he started the fist pump before it even went in. That's the veins popping out of the neck. Heart rate very high.
flexing on people. First down, baby.
Great putt from Bradley as well.
No flex. What's going on here?
Can't say that I've seen too many Bradley
What?
Williams celebrations. If anyone finds one, please send me a video of that.
Good putt.
Alex keeps really plugging away. He really hasn't had too many rough holes. I think 15 he took a 4, which still, in my mind, is a par.
We have an exciting conclusion. Aside from Ricky running kind of away, these guys are all within 2 strokes heading into hole 18. I've seen all kinds of things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you see all left sides out of bounds. We have a right to left cross pond right here. Nobody's going to throw it in there unless it falls out of their pocket along with this green. And then really the trick is getting in position to have a makeable putt. I mean, anything down that hill is going to cause for kind of a tough tester putt, especially in the positions that all these guys are in.
And even going a little bit too deep will give you some sort of death putt. And I think all the players at this point know where they're at. They know what they're playing for right now. Bradley kind of sawing it off a little bit.
That's in the circle. That's makeable. So he makes that. He holds his position where he is.
AJ trying to play that crosswind. I think he does.
Catches the branch, shoots him down. He has a makeable putt there. I'm curious to see who's going to go first between him and Brad. Russ
gets a little shove from the crosswind and a little bit help back, and he'll skip up to about 25 feet.
Huh. So yeah. So we have some stuff going on here. I mean, none of those are gimmies.
And Ricky going max again.
There's
the help.
Ricky going monster.
Ricky going DX monster here.
That was nice.
This is a big putt for AJ.
Yeah. No wind.
That was a fantastic recovery after having a rough start to the round. Ooh. Stud guy?
I can't even.
Alex just shot the hot round with a -7.
Very good round. He
was
just
a
in
great round
Yeah,
for
just
the
in control
conditions.
the whole time. Only, I think 1 bogey on the round and just looked very in control. Here's Brad. And that lifts on him. And that's actually going to tie him and AJ up right there. So big putt from AJ. Maybe putting a little bit of pressure on him. And here goes Raptor Rick.
Is that a double pumper?
I think so.
Double pump? Raptor leg guy?
Just a well-played tournament from Ricky, in control from the start to
And
finish.
shooting a hot course record 12 down the second round to give him that
Right.
cushion. Thank you all so much for watching this coverage. It's been a blast doing commentary for y'all. Tune in next week for coverage of the Nick Hyde Memorial in Rockwall, Texas. Paul, any closing words?
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us, and hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to Jomez, obviously. Check out all their awesome footage. Everybody loves it, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks for watching the coverage, everybody. This was our first time teaming up together on the commentary mic. If you like the video on the front 9 and you leave a comment down below, you'll be automatically entered to win this signed ESP Vulture straight out of Paul Ulibarri's bag.
That's right.
What about the back 9, Paul?
Back 9, same thing. Subscribe, leave a comment below, like the videos. You can win this Uli hat. So, same one I'm wearing right here.
Sick.